back next year, ready to rock.
Stay tuned for this evening if you want more Packers reaction, as we have Jim, Matt, and Molly coming up next, and we wrap up with the Great Dane Huddle right here on 100.5.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me. I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
When you come into somebody else's house against a really good football team, you can't start the way we did.
That gets decked up. And for the third, I think the ball came out there. Who's going to come out of it? Eagles say they have it. Eagles recover.
You know, it was obviously too much to overcome.
Here's Love, though, last gasp attempt. Going deep down the field into double coverage. It's intercepted. Picked off by Quinyon Mitchell, the third pick of the day for Philly.
It's the end of the season, you lose playoff game. We've been here before. It sucks. It's not fun being in that locker room after a game, and it sucks.
The Green Bay Packers simply couldn't beat the elite talent in the NFC. They were good. They were not good enough.
I get I want to vomit every time I hear number one receiver.
Feels like they're going to get punched in the jugular in week 1 in Brazil.
Right in the throat.
Can I say that on there? Yeah, right in the throat.
Do you know where the jugular is located?
Yes.
Okay.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are live from the Everlight Solar Studio. He is Matt Hamilton, decked out in his Packers full zip, and you just unraveled your mane. You give off a little bit of Teen Wolf vibes with the Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf vibes. You can see that on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. I am Jim Rutledge, rocking my Kelly green and white Rhinelander Hodag sweatshirt for no particular reason today.
Yeah,
Prime time,
you jerk.
Warriors time behind the glass. And we got a lot to get into. I will start it like this. We like to get into our starting unlimited poll question. But I think for today, we will immediately open up the phone lines for bucket dumping. 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless talking text line. Less is more. You can bucket dump. You can just call in and vent. That is open for you today. We will be your therapist for the next 2 hours. Matt, I'm going to allow you to bucket dump in a minute, but congratulations. Jordan Love, first quarterback in Packers history to throw no touchdowns and 3 interceptions in a playoff game.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Feels
Set records
good.
out there.
Thank you.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Glad I was curling during that game.
Yeah.
Most of it.
You were peeking through the glass while curling. So, yeah, Matt Hamilton, again, you can chime in. And initially, you can bucket dump 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless talking text line. List is more. We are presented by Coors Light, and I'm sure the mountains are blue last night. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, the Coors Light.
Matt, you had a unique experience. So before we get into the game recap here, share how you consumed this game and your feelings while this was happening, because you were competing and peeking through the glass, literally, at your team, maybe not competing.
Yeah, it was a unique way to watch the first 3 quarters of a football game. I'll give you that. I was playing in the finals of
Congratulations.
the curling tournament. I was playing in the Golden Wrench at the Coyotes Curling Club down in Tempe, Arizona.
Well, I mean, of course, famous curling.
Hotbed of curling.
Yes.
And yeah, so cool part about this club, the viewing area to watch the game is right at ice level, and they've got like floor to ceiling glass.
That sounds amazing.
And they had like a big 50-inch TV facing the glass, which for the most of the tournament they had other curling tournaments playing on it, right? But obviously it's football season, so while the football was going on, we had football going, and I was taking glances as often as I could. I would go down and talk to my teammate John Schuster, but really when he was talking to me, I was looking through the glass so I could get a score update or maybe catch a play or two.
Was there any devastating play that you caught through the glass where you're like, I got to keep it together?
The missed field goal.
Oh, yeah.
I caught the missed. Honestly, I got lucky. A lot of the times when I peeked through the glass, it looked like it was going okay. Granted, I saw where the Packers were before the field goal.
Yep.
Went down through the shot, and I kind of came back, and I saw Philly had the ball, but it was still 10-0. It's like, no way did McManus miss like a 35, 40-yarder.
The Packers defense, which I think we're maybe overselling a little bit based on nobody else played well enough to win. The Packers defense was the only unit that showed up that played winning football.
Well, with grit.
With grit. They showed up and they tried hard, even if they were getting literally punched in the mouth on the way down for an end zone. But the second...
For an end zone.
To the end zone, excuse me. For a touchdown. The start of the game, Nixon gets rocked, fumbles the ball. That honestly...
No, I'm curious about that. I didn't get to see it live because, again, I was doing things.
Yep.
Was that not helmet to helmet? Like, that was the crown of the helmet leading, and he got popped in the mouth.
I know Tauscher talked with Dean Blandino, friend of the show, Will Dean Tausch, and Dean said he did think that was a penalty, but at the same time, he also saw, Dean did say he could see why it wasn't called because Nixon put his head down too. That made it murkier.
Okay.
So I think Nixon putting his head down made the whole thing murkier.
Right.
Because he
okay.
was not defenseless, which you do not have to be defenseless. But the way I heard it on Will Dean Tausch was that it probably wasn't called because, one, he wasn't defenseless, so it's less likely to be called, and then two, both their helmets were trajecting towards each other.
Right. I just thought defenders can't lead with the crown of their helmet, so that's...
But the offensive player did too, and offensive players can't either.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Not why they lost.
No. But I mean, but it does set a tone for the game. So I'm not saying that's why they lost,
it set a tone.
Man, to start off with that kind of like vibe...
So
brutal.
I'll say like Tauscher, obviously a huge Packer fan, essentially said on the show, Ryan, correct me if I'm misquoting it, he didn't have a problem with that call not being made. Maybe the fumble not being overturned was his bigger issue, but that he thought that it was a football play. Like that's a play from Tauscher's era. That's a football play. And Nixon got rocked. It wasn't dirty. It wasn't intentional, and he dropped the ball. And your bigger case is the slow-mo replay, but again, you're not getting that overturned.
Right.
If it had gone the other way, it would have just stayed that way.
And
it's
again,
just one of those things in the game.
That's the only way they show that play now is slow-mo.
Right.
You know, so I caught it after the fact, so yeah, it just looked worse than it
Well,
was.
because just in general, special teams, McManus missed, and obviously the Nixon fumble.
That was his first playoff missed field goal, I believe is what I heard.
That is what they said on the broadcast,
Ugh.
which is even more painful.
So that was the whole point of getting a kicker this year, was to have a guy that you can count on, especially in the playoffs. And when you have a fumble and then the first drive that you have a shot at putting some points on the board, you can't even punch it through the uprights from like 35, 36 yards. That's a rough start.
Yeah, so that was rough. But to get through it, you had the fumble. The Eagles get 7 easy points. And that really put them behind the 8 ball. And then they get the Jake Elliott touch. Now it's 10-0. And really the story of the game and what we should be taking from it and extrapolating into the offseason is that Jordan Love looked horrible. Yeah. And I did not initially thought he regressed this year. But you look at him this season, and I heard Tauscher earlier today, and he called Jordan Love's season a regression based off of the way Jordan Love finished those last 6 games. There was not one game this year that Jordan Love played like he played the last 5 or 6 games or that playoff game against Dallas. He didn't do that one time.
Did you get a little bit of like last year Philly vibes? How like the team just started to disintegrate?
Yeah.
And
yes.
That's what it felt like, especially after that Bear game with how young this team was. Part of me was like, I don't know if these guys have the grit to bounce back from something like that. Like, they got punched in the mouth by the Lions. They got punched in the mouth by the Vikings.
Yep.
They got punched in the mouth by the Bears. And I just felt like They were a fighter and they were wobbled and they were not regaining their legs before that last round against Philly.
And I think grit is something that's associated not with back-to-back youngest team in the NFL. And I'm not saying you need to go out and spend crazy money in free agency again or bring in another McKinney, but if I am Goody,
yes, they do.
I might need to get off my high horse and sign maybe my backups. A few of them are just vets. Surly, mean.
A number one wide receiver would be nice.
Yes, and it's hard to figure out what I know. I don't know the exact number the Packers have available, but what I do know is that they are somewhere, regardless of how I think ESPN broke it down with a smaller amount, but I think ESPN accounted for some extensions being matched and some other contracts being done in there. They have it one, but regardless of whether you go with a really small number of around 17 million or you go with a larger number of 55 million, the Packers are sitting around 13th. Detroit and Chicago in the division have higher cap space than Green Bay, and I don't know how that translates into the following year too with Jordan Love's contract really hitting the books. So I would assume the Packers have money for like T. Higgins or one or two or three solid players. Like a vet corner could help this team because they need some grit and they need some things to figure out with this team. There's a lot to get into for today's show. There's so many different aspects of it, and we could talk about Jordan Love. We can talk about all these different things. And I want your calls, 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless Talking text line. Less is more. You can bucket dump, but we do have a side and unlimited poll question. And this is more of a reflection on us. The players weren't necessarily saying this, but whether it's our show, probably not our show, but whatever shows it were, and just the overall fan and media narrative, I would say I want to ask this question, which belief in the Packers was more, how do you want to say this?
The way I have it written down.
Yeah.
Wow, this has been a tough day, guys.
Yeah.
I have to sit here with Jim Rutledge. I have to talk about the Packers losing in the first round of the playoffs to the Eagles, and now I just said Roten on air. Which early season narrative about the Packers were we most wrong about?
Okay. And the narrative options are, I guess if you want to, I know what they are, but how are you going to post them?
I'm posting them as Jordan Love being an MVP candidate, the Packers having 4 wide receiver ones, or Matt LaFleur being a legitimate Coach of the Year candidate.
Now, do you want me to attach who I, in my mind,
just for the wide receiver
throw
ones?
In multiple wide receiver ones because
all right.
No, well, because here's the thing: Mr. Irrelevant was the 4. Brad Nortman was the Coach of the Year.
I mean, I predicted,
and Tauscher was Love. Those are the 3
and
in
my bold prediction for the Wilde and Tausch Boldathon was 3 wide receivers over like 900 yards or something.
They didn't get any.
None. Yeah.
And your prediction with us was that they'd have 2 receivers over 1,000.
Over 1,000.
It would have been crazy if they had 2 receivers over 1,000 and another over 900. You really went bold this year.
Well,
you believed in a passing game that didn't deserve your belief.
Well, I mean, at the end of last year, it really looked like it was going to be something, and then
Can I give you a little insight? And I think we got to fix this in the offseason.
No?
So, Jordan Love's stats on true dropbacks this season, including the playoff game. There's this non-play action, non-RPO, non-screen passes. So just drop back and let it rip.
Well, he had a ton of those yesterday.
57.7% completion percentage, 15 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 7 yards per attempt, 77.6 rating. So Matt LaFleur's...
That's $55 million worth, I think.
Matt LaFleur's instinct that Jordan Love needs the run game and play action is correct. Now, Tauscher pointed this out on the show, and I think it's something they're going to have to work out with Josh Jacobs in the offseason. It seems like Josh Jacobs' preferred means of running is out of the shotgun. It is very hard to run a play action effectively out of the shotgun. Philly exploited that and basically said, Jordan Love, you beat us because we're going to basically attack Josh Jacobs anytime you run out of the shotgun because it's not common you run a play action out of the shotgun, and then also if he does run it, we're going to blow it up. Otherwise, we don't believe he can beat us. So that's what Philly said.
But that's like the perfect time to run a play action out of the shotgun. It's like, sure, the team's selling out the shotgun run.
Right, but it's just not it's easier to see. Like
Right.
if you're running under center play action, you can really sell it and freeze those linebackers. It's harder to do all the actions and all the confusion for the defense under shotgun.
Even getting
out of shotgun.
Even getting a half a second or a quarter second out of those guys having to wait to see if he gets the ball
but they
could give your receiver a half a step.
Right, but setting that aside, under center play action holds him, in this case, a whole second. So ideally, you're trying to figure out a way to get Josh Jacobs under center, or Jordan Love under center a few more times with Josh Jacobs at running back to allow for that true play action.
Do you know how many play action runs or plays they ran yesterday?
I don't know off the top of my head, no.
Because they got Jacobs to establish the run.
But again, the shotgun is less likely formation to run play action out of in general.
Either way, the fact is you got Josh Jacobs to establish a run game. And when you establish a run game, you can set up the play action. He had 3 play action passes yesterday. Of every play they ran on offense, they only tried it 3 times. What's the point? If you're going to call Josh Jacobs your bell cow, use him as a decoy every once in a while.
Especially since Jordan Love is not good.
He needed help.
Without the play action. He needs help. That's the whole season.
That's what bothers me is Matt LaFleur, what are you not seeing what everyone else is seeing on this field? Make an adjustment.
So Donnie DeForest chimes in, and you can chime in on this 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and text line. List is more. You can bucket dump. He says, I'm tired of hearing about the Packers being the youngest team. Their youngest team by 6 months. So he did send an image in. So the Green Bay Packers, as of September 2024, are the youngest team in the NFL with an average age of 25 years, 7 months, 25 days. And Tampa is 25.45 in the playoffs. The Rams at 25.45. I made this point before. The Rams are actually technically, I would assume, as young or younger than the Packers because you have Matthew Stafford skewing that super old along with Cooper Kupp. The Chiefs average age of 25.46. When you account for Mahomes and Kelsey, that would skew that number up as well. The Jaguars 25. So there are even the Eagles at 25.6. So even though the Packers are very young, they are not. It's not some dramatic difference there.
I think he might also be mentioning the fact that them being that young of a team isn't necessarily a good thing.
Oh, I think that's where I was coming from too. But my point is, the outliers on those teams is they have
either way. The Packers have one player over the age of 30,
right? But those other teams, their best player is over the age of 30. Players can play football after the age of 30,
which maybe is why the Packers should go get some of those guys.
Yes, and that's kind of where we're at. That I don't think we're putting Jordan Love out the pasture, even though Homer did ask how long his contract runs after
He's not
the game yesterday.
He is not the only one.
So I just want to put a little clarity on this oldest, youngest thing.
Yeah.
6 months, being the youngest by, what did they say, 6 months?
A couple months, actually, not 6, but yeah.
Well, still, a couple months. The difference from the oldest team in the league, which is the Buffalo Bills, is only 27 and 5 months.
Yep.
So, that's really only a 3-month spread. Right. So, percentage-wise, they're fairly significantly younger than...
True. But the best players on the best teams, Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, they are older players. Sometimes you either need to acquire an older player and let them play into their 30s, and maybe that makes you a tad older, or you hold on to players and let them be old with your team.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I know,
I'm just saying that, I agree that for me, the youth was more looking at discipline. How many dumb penalties were there? There was there were late hits. What?
Slow starts too, maybe.
Slow starts?
Packers
you could attribute
had 8
that?
penalties, 2 unnecessary roughness penalties in the fourth quarter.
Well, the Slayton, I think, had the last one.
Yep. Keyshawn Nixon, too.
Keyshawn Nixon was so far out of bounds.
One of the older veterans, by the way, on this team.
Yeah. So, Nixon was clearly frustrated. That guy had a rough go right from the get-go.
Well, did you know he said today at his locker that he wants to be the cornerback 1 next year?
Yeah, because cornerback 1 doesn't run back the ball.
Cornerback 1 gets paid, and that's why he wants to be cornerback 1. He is not a good cornerback. He's fine.
I like the aspiration, though. Work your butt off this offseason. See how much. See if you can't work yourself off the kick return squad. Maybe you can be cornerback 2.
I get what you're saying, but he's not a spring chicken. Honestly, for the Packers, he's about ready to go out the pastures, the way they do things. But it's not.
They're about to put him in a home.
Yeah,
you're not 20. You're out of here.
He's not a young football player. He's had years to get to be a good corner. He's a serviceable cornerback, and in his position he's in now, kind of your third corner. That's ideal. You can do worse, you can do better, but that's a good spot for him.
Yeah.
The problem is Stokes stinks, and Alexander probably never plays for the Packers again. So they kind of have to revamp.
Valentine can't tackle.
Yeah, that was really bad for him.
Oh my god,
he's a solid player.
The double stiff arm too. It's
3.
like,
The third one was just
punch you in the mouth, and then I'm gonna do it again.
I think there was a third, and the third one was just basically bleep you. You know, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna get you one more time, just to embarrass you in front of your family. That's Valentine is actually a good player.
He is a good player, but
solid player.
man,
Yeah,
what do you
Nixon level
can't
player.
try and tackle a tight end at his shoulder pads. Like, he's bigger than you.
Do you think when that's happening, he's like, oh God, this is like, I can't give up, but like, this is horrible.
Oh, you know you're getting played on Sports Center the next day.
You guys ever watch like Star Wars, the old ones, when it's like Darth Vader walking down a hallway just killing like these,
rebels?
Like, these like side characters and just like taking them out one at a time. I think that's what Carrington Valentine probably felt like.
Like when
in
he
that
was
moment.
going through the tunnel.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's just like just taking rebels out. Yeah.
A lot of PTSD for Carrington Valentine there.
Oh, yeah,
Lost a
yeah.
lot of good guys that day.
I mean, I couldn't imagine as like a football player, because sure, when you make that great play, you're gonna get on Sports Center. But how much worse is it? Like, Goddard probably was gonna get a top 10 play of the day with that double or triple stiff arm, and you're gonna have to see yourself get punched in the mouth all night. That's brutal. Like, what a terrible way to. That's like adding salt to the wound after the game. Like, I would not turn on the TV.
Would you add salt to any of your meats from Metcalf's Market?
Absolutely. You got to salt your meat. It's called a Dry Brine, Jim. And if you want some of the best meat in town, go get that Piedmontese beef from Metcalf's Market. It's Italian heritage breed. It's certified, so you know what you're getting is 100% Piedmontese beef. And you can only get it at Metcalf's Market at Hilldale, Wauwatosa, or near Westtown Mall. They've got fantastic produce. Sign up for Metcalf's Rewards. Thousands of dollars to be saved every single day. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Go to Metcalf's, sign up for Metcalf's Rewards, and bring local home.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Purchase your tickets, grab some friends, and get to the Sylvie on Monday, February 24th for Andy North Trivia Night, presented by Exact Sciences. Enjoy a fun and inspiring evening of trivia, music, food, and refreshments while helping to raise money for UW Carbone Cancer Center. This fun and inspiring event is hosted by Andy North, and in addition to the trivia, the lineup includes a silent auction, celebrity appearances, and prizes. Doors open at 6 p.m. Visit AndyNorthandFriends.com to buy your tickets. Past year's events have sold out quickly, so get your tickets today.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The Green Bay Packers simply couldn't beat the elite talent in the NFC. They were winless against the Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, and now the Eagles. Lost 2 games to both of those teams. They were good. They were not good enough. That, to me, is the story of the Green Bay Packers this season. So it was a good season, not a great one.
Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN. Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Give me a second, I need to get my story straight.
Well, we certainly didn't win anything. The whole last few games that we played, it just, you could kind of feel what was brewing for us. We just didn't finish. I wouldn't necessarily say that the season was a failure. We learned a lot about some of the individuals on our team and how these players can impact the future of this building.
And you feel like falling down, I'll carry you home tonight.
Had to let the hook drop there. The Packers were young last night. Tucker Kraft talking about it at his locker. They did not set the world on fire. This is a fun band.
They did not go higher.
That's the band,
Yeah.
not the song. And little Jack Antonoff is like the driving force behind this band, who's famous now for the driving force behind most Taylor Swift albums, and he's the lead singer of Bleachers.
Right.
But this was a band he created before Bleachers. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. Primetime will shine behind the glass. We are presented by Coors Light. Watch us on our YouTube stream, and you'll see Matt Hamilton, a.k.a. Teen Wolf. Even the jacket adds to it, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah, it's very Letterman style,
Yes.
kind of. And yeah, I obviously I was on the red eye flight home today, so a little bit later shower than usual. My hair is poofy right now.
It is. You get a Head and Shoulders endorsement there. We are asking you our Siding Unlimited poll question. Which early season narrative about the Packers were we most wrong about? That is the Siding Unlimited poll question, and it is really a dead heat between Jordan Love, MVP candidate, at 43%, having multiple wide receiver ones at 45%, and Matt LaFleur, legit Coach of the Year candidate, 12%.
Here's the thing. If Jordan Love is a borderline MVP candidate, we might still be able to make the case that you had multiple wide receiver ones.
Yes.
Like the buck stops at Matt LaFleur and Jordan, I think.
I agree. To me, it's Jordan Love. Jordan Love, I didn't think, I mentioned this before,
Well,
I didn't think he regressed until I saw this playoff game. And then it's like, well, your last 3 games of the year, I mean, Minnesota, Chicago, and then this Philadelphia game, were bad. He wasn't good. And so that is a real concern and something you should legitimately question about this team. And I want to get to Jordan Love, Matt, but the youth, and it applies to the wide receivers.
Yeah.
Reed, young. Dobbs, young. Christian Watson, not young, but younger in his
Injured.
career on his first contract. You have Tucker Kraft.
Young.
Musgrave play?
I didn't see him. If he did, he was a non-factor.
Was he active?
If he was, he wasn't active on the field.
Okay.
He wasn't doing much activity out there.
Right. And so
I hope he's on the green and gold blind rankings.
You'd have to be really blind to be able to rank him.
Or actually, the
No, I'm
opposite.
not blind at all.
You have to be a Hawkeye to notice him.
Yeah.
So to these points of these playmakers, they're all young. And Jordan Love, he's the weirdest one to figure out because he is not young. At 26, he's not young in age for a quarterback. He's now through 5 full seasons in the NFL, 2 as a starter. 5 full seasons. This is the part that matters to me, and we always can debate back and forth. same offense, same coach, and that is so important. So important, coaching and the offense and having the right offense that fits. And so I don't know what Jordan Love is, but the overall youth movement on this team, adding a few free agents, which I don't know if I know Goody's adding McKinney. It's very much, and I haven't looked at this free agent class, he very much adds free agents that fit into a very specific bucket for him, which was Jacobs and McKinney. I don't know if there's a receiver out there or other positions out there that fit a bucket for him. Has he spent real money on the defensive line before? He's never spent real money in free agency on the wide receiver.
If you include Zadarius and Preston Smith as D-line, then yes.
I mean, I guess I wasn't because I know he signed them, but
they're pass rushers, so I think that counts.
Yeah, okay. So, because I specifically didn't want to say pass rush because I think Kenny Clark didn't have the year I think we were looking for. He wasn't bad, but he gets paid a lot. Jerry Alexander was obviously a bad spend at this moment in time. Bad spend.
I think when you look at the depth of like their interior D-line, like Carl Brooks, TJ Slayton, outside of his stupid unnecessary roughness penalty, Kenny Clark was good enough. I said Carl Brooks already. But guys like that, like I felt like they had depth. Devontae Wyatt even, like he had a better season.
I guess here's what I'm getting at. Goody sucks at drafting defensive players in the first round.
Might just suck in the first round.
Yeah, Jordan Morgan didn't play. Now I understand, but also when he was drafted, everyone's like, "Hey, he's not a tackle." Packers like, "Oh, he's gonna be a tackle." Immediately gets moved inside, and that's to me the bigger flag of not the end of the world. But if you thought you were drafting a left tackle and he's immediately a guard, that's not ideal. He still could be a good player. But then you have Van Ness, trash at this point for a first-round pick. For a first-round pick. Rashawn Gary, drastically underperforming. We can laugh about his Pro Bowl all we want, but the fact that we're not patting him on the back and instead we're all laughing at him, including Packer fans, that he's a Pro Bowler and blown away by that idea. Devontae Wyatt is a solid football player, not a first-round pick. Quay Walker is an interesting football player, but not the production you want out of a first-round pick. Eric Stokes was a bad first-round pick. Jair Alexander was a fine first-round pick, but I guess re-signing him or whatever, like, I know injuries.
Was that Goody's first-round pick?
I believe so. Yes.
Yes, it was. That's a good one, but soured.
Yeah, it hasn't held up. It was at the time.
You could also give him credit for Elton Jenkins. He was like the 38th overall pick.
Well, no,
so,
specific to first.
Early second.
He does a good job, a better job in the second round.
Better.
Yeah,
Christian Watson
was a brutal pick. A.J. Dillon, not a great second-round pick.
So we had two this last year, right?
Adrian Cooper, Javon Bullard.
Adrian Cooper's a great second-round pick. And Bullard
no, first-rounder. First-rounders.
First-rounder, we had one first-round pick.
Just one.
Jordan Morgan.
They almost like to tie one hand behind their back. Like, we're going to screw up the first round, but then we'll get Cooper, which is a first-round talent, and Bullard looks like a good player.
Yeah,
Cooper
that tackle he made against Saquon on the swing pass early in the game stopped a lot of the momentum.
Yeah.
It felt like they were going to get destroyed from the start.
Cooper looks like a field changer, and Bullard looks like an NFL starter. And so that's exciting. And those are things to be excited about.
Then you got
Should
Evan
we just
Williams
trade our first-round pick and get out of the first round for next year? Just like, doesn't matter who it is, who's available. Goody's never taken best available, which I feel like first round, your hands are kind of tied. Like, you can take positions of need, but like, if you're middle to late first rounder, maybe you just take the best available player, regardless of position, because Goody's been terrible at trying to play this, I'm smarter and I know better, I'm going to go ahead and reach for somebody, or, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Because at the second round, that's when things get a little hairier. You feel like teams start taking the positions of need as opposed to taking best available, and Goody's pretty good at finding that position of need, the best available position of need. But, like, he does like to reach in the first a little, I feel like. I don't know. This isn't about Goody.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a Goody issue. The fact is, this team had enough talent to put a better game on the field. Do I think that they could have beat Philly? Like, maybe 40-60, right? Like, they played 10 times. They won 4 of them. It was definitely in the cards. My issue, and Jordan Love played bad, but, like, Matt LaFleur, like, let's get off this narrative that Jordan Love has been in your offense for 5 years. You have been Jordan Love's coach for 5 years. You, of all people, know what he is capable of when he, especially with the last 2 games of the season he had going into this playoff game. Maybe you should have tried to adjust your scheme a little bit instead of being like, well, hope next week's better. It's like, you know what? He's slumping a little bit. Do something to help him out. Because it looked like they just kept trying to run the status quo. And when status quo wasn't working, they're like, let's keep trying it. It's like, geez, man. Like, if you're this offensive guru, you're supposed to be this like young gun genius offensive guy that we brought in to like really turn this offense around. Like, sure. But if option 1 doesn't work, where's option 2? Where's option 3?
844-770-3776. That's the Carbless Talking text line. Less is more. We do have a Siding Unlimited poll question that is in a dead heat right now. Which early season narrative about the Packers were we most wrong about? Jordan Love, MVP candidate, having multiple wide receiver ones, or MLF as a legit Coach of the Year candidate? Right now it is 45.5% of you saying having multiple wide receiver ones. Chiming in, Brandon in Tulsa, my biggest question is, can the Packers win a Super Bowl if this is who Love is going forward? Even if Goody addresses the pass rush, brings in a wide receiver one, if Love always remains an accurate QB, I don't think they will win a title. And Rutledge is an idiot guy chimes in, hard to reach when you're always picking bottom 25.
I mean,
not like he moves up is his point.
Yeah, I get that, but also bottom 25, you can still take the best available player.
I think his point is that go up.
Well, I think his point is like the
Rutledge
Packers
is
are
an idiot
always.
guy. You can tell us what your
always
point
in
is.
the playoffs, like we're always at the bottom of the first round. I think that was more his.
I initially read it like that, but the follow up of not like he moves up. But Rutledge is an idiot guy. You can chime in and say exactly what your point is. We don't have to guess at it. Appreciate you listening.
Well, he doesn't want to. Goody treats draft picks like gold. He's never going to go, here's a first and a third for us to move up 10 spots. Like, that's just, he'll just tell you he's going to make a really great third round pick and just hold on to it.
Like, if I was a Pack, I don't know what the draft is, and I don't know how this is going to break, but just as someone who's watching.
The draft is when rookies come in from college and you get to pick them for your team.
And we're going to get the break here. Carter from Penn State, trade anything and go get him. I think he solves your defensive pass rush issues. Right? You don't think so? Ryan?
I was trying to record some audio while you were talking. I was hoping you would just keep talking, actually.
What is going on? All right. You were giving me a look, so I thought you had a thought on it. So
you want to ask me about Carter?
Abdul Carter will probably be the first overall pick. I don't think they can go up and trade for him.
First
quarterback's
likely.
Quarterback's going number one.
No. I don't know.
I will always bet money on a quarterback.
I would take.
Number one.
Here's the thing. Someone from Colorado is getting taken first overall.
True. Hunter's a better player, I think.
I don't know.
There's two players in Colorado.
Hunter might be the guy the
Abdul
Packers
Carter
need.
will be a top 5 pick.
Hey, let's add another one wide receiver and a quarterback.
Hunter's the
quarterback
guy.
in the same
saves
go.
the Packers. 844-770-3776. Chalmers Jewelers, Madison's custom jeweler, Madison's family-owned jeweler. Whether it's custom jewelry, repairs, or get yourself a nice fancy watch, Chalmers Jewelers will help you out. The Madison's custom jeweler, the Madison's locally owned jeweler, and they are Madison's family-owned jeweler. Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. If you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now is the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel and no payment financing until 2026. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Are you taking GLP-1 injections like semaglutides, but wondering how you can keep the weight off long term? Or maybe the weight just isn't coming off as quickly as you thought it would? If you weren't given a specific food plan to follow, you might be at risk of putting the weight back on once the injections end. At MadisonWeightLoss.com, our supervised nutrition plan could help support you and maximize your weight loss results now and empower you with the tools to keep the weight off long term once the injections end.
Hi, it's Jesse Nelson. Struggling to find a weight loss program that really works for you? I was, until I found Madison Weight Loss. In 60 days, I was able to drop 40 pounds simply by changing my diet. Schedule a free consultation in person or virtual at MadisonWeightLoss.com.
At MadisonWeightLoss.com, we offer a proven approach to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day without exercising or prepackaged foods or counting calories. Plus, our strategies can help you keep the weight off long term. Don't wait. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com to schedule a free consultation. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
It's New Year, new deals at Metro Ford of Madison. With 204 new vehicles in stock, Metro Ford is your home for the best selection and the biggest savings of 2025. Enjoy the 2024 Ford Escape with 1.9% APR for 66 months, $15.97 per thousand borrowed. Or get the future of driving with the 2024 Ford Mach-E at 0% APR financing for 72 months. But hurry, these deals end February 3rd. Visit Metro Ford in person or online at metrofordofmadison.com and drive off in the new Ford of your dreams today.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Ain't shady, baby, I'm hot like the prodigal son. Big up Bartolini, meeny, money, mo, and flower, you're the chosen one.
Tulsa chimes in, little caller-on-caller crime there. Rashawn Gary and LVN are not bottom 25, they're top 15. As far as picks.
Rashawn was top 10, wasn't he?
Yes. And Andrew, number 2, chimes in, love is fine. Packers were 29th and drop passes were 33. Eagles were first with 7. Our receivers don't cut it. Our number 1 would be at best number 2 on most teams. MLF can't make receivers catch the ball. People put this at Love's feet because he got paid. They don't put where the blame where it lies in Gooding wide receiver 1. Andrew, I think that's a lot of hope casting. Most of the accuracy stats as far as ball placement and true accuracy and accuracy on throws, Love is an inaccurate quarterback. I'm not saying the receivers...
Even when they were open a lot of times last year.
Yes.
He was inaccurate.
Right. And the receivers had nothing to do with the horrendous throw that was picked off by Slay and the just... I don't know what you were thinking throw from Zach Bond. Which interception was it from Jordan
that one
Love?
Just looked like he didn't see the
guy.
guy.
I was going to say that I think the play before or that as that play's happening, Tom Brady says this is where Jordan Love needs to show up and play like a Hall of Fame quarterback. And then literally that play, he throws an interception. I think it was the Bond interception.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yes. We didn't pull that audio? No? Nobody?
Which one?
The one where Brady...
We don't want to relive it, Jim.
I don't need to hear Tom Brady reiterate it. I felt it in the moment. I don't need to. I don't need to hear it again.
Oh, but if Daryl Johnston says that DJ Moore, he fumbles the ball right when he says how the Bears are going to screw us up, we would have heard that for a year and a half.
No, Jim, you asked for that, and I said no. Actually, you said you wanted to hear it.
True. I'm saying. Oh wait, I wanted to hear what
you wanted to hear Daryl Johnson with the DJ Moore fumble.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Oh,
You asked right before the start of the show.
Like, no,
last Monday.
Did I really? Okay.
Yes, you did.
All right, so I don't know. The days all blend together. 844-770-3776. How you get into the show? It's a Carbless Talking text line. Saturday Limit poll question. Which early season narrative were we most wrong about the Packers? It was Jordan Love, MVP candidate, is number one. Having multiple wide receivers, one is number two. You can watch us on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. Molly Brown out with babies. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. And let's get to our green and gold blind rankings.
We all saw the game.
I know what I saw.
I know I saw.
Now, we gotta pull back the green and gold blinders.
All right, then. Keep your secrets.
Time for the green and gold blind rankings.
Yeah, guys, this is where we have to go through. We have to pick 3 players to blind rank based on their performance in Sunday's game. Now the impetus behind blind rankings, for anyone who doesn't know, that's the rankings you do where you do not get to know who's coming as you're ranking them, except you only have to rank them as they're presented to you. All right, so everyone's caught up. So, guys, why don't we get us started off here? The first one on this list, Rashawn Gary. Now, we rank these 3 players as good, bad, or meh based off their performance in the game. Is Rashawn Gary good, bad, or meh based off his performance in Sunday's game against the Eagles?
This is tough. He had a sack.
Yeah, but he was pretty much a non-factor. He also had Jalen Hurts dead to rights 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he got by him, and I think Jalen ended up getting a first down running between like 5 Packers, and he still got his slide off untouched.
Yeah, honestly, I thought he could have gone farther. Like, the slide did the Packers a favor.
Yeah.
I would say I'm going to go meh because there's so much more bad available.
Who are the options for good, though?
McKinney. Again, McKinney was fine. He made all the tackles. He didn't let anyone break a tackle.
He didn't have an interception or anything.
No, but not.
He took a bad route.
I thought Jacobs was good. He had 4.5 yards a carry at 81 yards. Like, that's
he had a
fine.
lot of bad. It was honestly reminding me of the first Philadelphia game where he did bupkis outside of one major run.
Yeah, but
Philadelphia, the first game, he had
that's
2
just
runs.
how the game flow goes. You can't expect him to get 4.5 yards every carry. You have to expect a couple for -1, and then he busts one for 9, and you get to your 4.5 yards. So, all
right.
I would say Jacobs was good if it comes up.
Okay, we'll go meh.
All right.
Meh for Gary.
Next one I'll throw out to you guys then. Kingsley Enagbare. How do you think he performed? As
Bad?
good or bad?
I don't remember him playing football.
Yeah, you might as well have said Luke Musgrave. Bad, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: Jordan Love's gonna come, and it's gonna say good.
We can't call that. We should have called Rashawn Gary good, but
yeah,
you put us in this box. So.
I know. I put us in the box.
Because
the
you
good
wanted
or
to
bad
call
box.
Josh Jacobs good.
Well, guys, you're not getting Jordan Love. You're not getting Josh Jacobs. You're not getting
We're gonna
Edgerrin
go.
Cooper.
Hold on, we're going bad. We're gonna go bad for.
You can't call him good. No.
For Enagbare.
Enagbare. Well, that means Brenton Cox Jr. was the only good player in today's green and gold blind rankings, guys.
Who?
Thank you, because that's the point I wanted to make with this.
Is
today.
he the one that got? Is he the player that Jalen Hurts got in a little kerfuffle with after he pushed Saquon Barkley? Or which defensive lineman was that?
After he pushed Saquon Barkley, that was T.J. Slayton.
Slayton,
again.
okay.
Oh, Slayton just got into all the scuffles.
Okay,
all game. He did a great job. No. I bring those 3 guys up because
the least amount of snaps in the game, or what?
Outside of Devontae Wyatt, those were the 3 leaders in sacks for the Packers this season. Devontae Wyatt, I didn't want to include because he got injured early in the game and left, but he had 5 sacks. Rashawn Gary had 7.5 sacks.
The way you say it's like he got injured and he said, "I'm out. I'm going."
Wait, home. I didn't want to include him because I thought it'd be
it's just the way you said he got injured and he left. Like that's just a funny
he didn't come back.
Yeah, it was just a funny way you phrased it. It's like, my ankle hurts. I'm out of here.
And then Kingsley Enagbare, Brenton Cox Jr. had 4.5 and 5 sacks respectively this season.
Ryan, how would you rank them when you gave them to us? How would you expected them to have been ranked for this?
I would have expected probably
I like that twist.
Rashawn Gary is bad.
As bad.
Yeah.
Even with a sack.
So what?
Okay.
It took him 7 seconds to get there.
He did have it was clocked by a sundial there.
Yeah.
That was a coverage sack.
Everything was a coverage sack for the Packers. I couldn't believe how well their secondary played. And then
that first touchdown was insane. What did he have? Did he burn like half the quarter there?
6.75 seconds, Matt.
It seemed way longer than that.
Oh, it felt like an eternity.
Oh, let's all pause to say hi, Molly, because she just texted in and says she loves the green and gold blind rankings and she's joining along with us. So hi, Molly. Listeners can do it as well. Remember Molly Brown out with babies. 844.
Not rabies. Babies.
Babies.
Her babies probably would have had better pass rush skills than the Packers on Sunday.
Maybe. Or maybe
they might have whined
Packers
less.
Players needed to be rabid, and they would have been better.
I wanted to bring
Pass
these three
rushers.
guys up because the pass rush was so bad I couldn't get over it.
So it was Gary bad, who was good, and who was meh.
You said that Brenton Cox Jr. was good, and
No, yeah, but I want to know how you would have ranked those three.
I probably would have said Brenton Cox Jr. meh, Kingsley Anagbare good.
Okay,
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just taking a minute here. If you are able, please help people affected by the California wildfires in 2025. Donate at redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover. That's redcross.org/ESPN. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. 2 thumbs up from Barry. Coach, a huge supporter of the college football playoffs 12-team bracket. A great chance, he says, to grow the sport's outreach. His words on the latest Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
I thought it would be good for college football, but it's great for college football. You have more teams that are involved. You have more people or have a team that they're invested in that are still alive. That just makes college football healthier.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez, streaming Monday nights at 6 on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel.
Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Jacob Stern from St. Ambrose Academy in Madison. Welcome.
Thank you, Dennis.
You're a multiple sport athlete. Let me see here. Football, you did cross country for a year, basketball, and state track and field. What's your best sport?
I'm the best at track technically, but my favorite is basketball.
What do you like about basketball?
I think the main thing that I love about the game is that the way to win is by playing selflessly. At least from my position as point guard, it promotes letting other people do what they're best at, promotes hustle, hard work, things like that. It helps you to be a better person while also being really fun to play.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Yeah.
I used to be down. Jim, Matt, Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. Make sure to watch us on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. At ESPN Madison, at Jim, Matt, and Molly as well. You can get into the show on the Carbless Talk and text line 844-770-3776. Which early season narrative about the Packers were we most wrong about? That is our Siding Unlimited poll question. Right now, 43.5% of you say Jordan Love is an MVP candidate, is number one. Having multiple wide receivers is number two at 42%. And MLF, Matt LaFleur, as legit coaching of the year candidate at 14.5%. Though that is our first poll question. We'll get to another one a little bit later in the show. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. Primetime Wollersheim behind the glass. And again, we are presented by Coors Light. I want to hear from Rex Ryan, Jets coaching candidate. Rex Ryan on Get Up Today.
You did. How about week one? Did I not tell you then? That's what concerns me. This kid has elite skills, but it is not an elite quarterback. And the reason for it, he's reckless with the football. And to me, he'll never take this team where they want to go until he handles this stuff. Now, this throw, I can understand, okay? That's just a great play by the defense, a little underthrown, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the other interceptions when he doesn't see the field, he doesn't anticipate coverage, he's playing like a young quarterback here, and now he's been in the league now about, 5 years, 6 years?
He's been a starter for 2, but yes, he has been in the league a long time.
We can't have this. Guy drops coverage. He has no feel for it, for the coverage. Why does Philly sit back and play zone? Because they know you're going to give them a chance to intercept the football. Right. You're going to make the big mistake. And in playoff time, it's crucial that you don't. The 3 interceptions is not surprising. The last one, obviously, he throws it in a team meeting. Like, the kid has to get better. His skills are unbelievable.
That was Rex Ryan. Matt?
I mean, I can't disagree with it. I want to know what interception he's talking about that he can excuse. Was it the Wicks one? Underthrown?
No, I think it's the Hail Mary one.
I mean, that's the one I'm excusing.
Yeah, I think that's the one he's talking
about.
The
one thrown into a team meeting, he said.
Yes.
Yeah. but then again, when he says it like that, it's like, it doesn't really sound like you're giving him a pass on it.
But it's kind of, to you brought up earlier, the game's kind of over. You're just
like PI hunting.
You're just hoping for a miracle.
Looking for a flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I think Jordan Love's got the arm. He's got pretty good pocket presence. He can feel the pressure coming. He just likes to hold the ball a little too long, and, yeah, he's a little bit reckless with the football. It is interesting, though, like, when you say reckless with the football, Brett Favre was reckless with the football. Like, Josh Allen, not necessarily this year, but Josh Allen's been reckless with the football, and he's always been touted as an elite quarterback. And I'm not putting him on the same level.
No, but
like, if you can be a playmaker, you are allotted a mistake here and there. Jordan Love isn't a playmaker right now. We're not even calling a game to let him be a playmaker, right? Like, this is a run-first offense. He threw 29 passes yesterday. Only completed 17 of them. Like, you got to make it. I'm kind of. Yes, Jordan Love needs to improve. He's got all the skill sets to be a really good quarterback. He needs Matt LaFleur to give him all the help he can get.
Speaking of turnover prone, Ryan, you pulled a stat from the Rex Ryan thing on Get Up.
So at the end of this segment on Get Up, after Rex talks about throwing the interception into the team meeting, that was apparently Jordan Love's 18th interception thrown when trailing since 2023, which is tied for the most in the NFL over that span. That's including playoff games.
I mean, again, that tracks for trailing,
but
right?
The most in the NFL. Other quarterbacks trail too, and they don't turn it over as much as him.
Yeah.
Here's quarterbacks who are. So you mentioned Brett Favre. He's great. Other quarterbacks who threw a lot of interceptions. I look at the top of the list because if you threw this many interceptions, you're good enough to be around for a while. Because for every Brett Favre, there's Vinny Testaverde. Yeah. And so Fran Tarkington, Johnny Unitas, those guys are different era. Dan Marino, Peyton Manning, really good quarterbacks. But then you look at Eli Manning, a lot of interceptions.
Yeah.
Dan Fouts, a lot of interceptions. Warren Moon, good, really. I mean, obviously, these guys might be Hall of Fame. They're not Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. They're not all-time greats. And so Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers. I think of, we talked about this during, before the show started, not in demeanor at all. But there are some things that Jordan Love does that reminds me of Jay Cutler. Because like Jay Cutler, Jordan Love is a very smart football player and has a very impressive arm and physical skill set. And like Jay Cutler, even in college at Utah State and Jay Cutler at Vanderbilt, they relied at times on their immense arm strength. And their arms, and I guarantee through high school and college, you didn't have to be precise with your footwork and your timing. And you could bounce, and make a back throw or throw across your body or throw through things at times. And even though Jay Cutler would have spurts of being really, really good because his footwork and everything was in line and everything was good, and then it would waver off track, and it never stayed on enough for him. Jordan Love has times where it's locked in, the footwork is there, and then everything else is right, and it looks really good. And then it falls off the rails again. It fell off the rails at the end of the year. His footwork was sloppy. He's dancing. He's throwing off the back foot. He's not making good decisions. That throw that was picked off by Slay, what are you doing? Slay is on him.
Yeah.
They never got a step. You weren't under pressure. That was just that was predetermined. Same with Bond. That Bond interception, he's just like, I'm going to Kraft. And didn't even
I'm going to try and rifle this in there. I'm going to try and use my arm strength. Now, I don't know if he didn't see him or just thought he could rip it by him. But it was not
I don't think he saw him.
I mean, that seems the more likely move. Because it's not like Bond laid out for it. He was able to catch it in stride.
The Adam Madison chimes in, if I ever see Jay Love lower his shoulder like Jay Cutler, I'll slap him myself. You're not that guy, pal. Okay.
I mean, he did lower that shoulder to give him the 4th and inches, didn't he? That run?
Was classic sneaky unathletic.
I
It looked like he had 30 yards.
There was actually athleticism on that one. There was a little bit of athleticism.
The breaking tackle at the end, but no speed.
He did knock down Zach Bond.
That's what I'm saying. That part would be the athleticism. But again, that's more Ben Roethlisberger. The physicality was the athleticism. A lot of quarterbacks, you could have gotten 30 yards there.
30?
20?
You'd have to be pretty fleet of foot. But
I will say, is not fleet of foot, but he is very strong.
Jordan Love saw Zach Bond that time, but he admitted after the game he did not see him on the interception.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to throw it, and he sunk back into the window, and I obviously didn't see him. And
he didn't sink into the window because you'd have seen him through the window.
And he wasn't even targeting Tucker Kraft on that play either.
Oh,
Jim.
he was not.
He was going deeper over the middle on the dig route.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. So Tucker,
because Tucker Kraft was behind him.
Zach Bond sort of fell off the route on Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft right. Trips. There was a receiver behind.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
That's
he
right.
trips, and then Zach Bond, being the all-pro that he is, sinks back and knows, Jordan Love's going to throw it over the middle because that's what he does every time.
Yep.
And I'm just going to pick this off.
Yes, you're right, because you watch it, and they called it out in the broadcast that Zach was covering Tucker, and he basically, it's like, I'll let Tucker catch this because I can tackle him if he catches it with this amount of distance between the two, and then saw Tucker and then trip a little bit, and then Zach smartly just took off because he saw where Jordan Love was looking and made that play.
And it almost looked like that could have been one of those touch throws, like over the linebacker.
But he didn't see him.
But the other guy was the wide receiver was pretty well covered.
Yeah, if you touch
he had the inside, so he had position on his defender, but
he had to rifle it in.
Well, right. You think so?
Yes.
I think to make it work, yes. But
to
he
your
also
point, if he lofts it, it's probably going the other way.
He also needs to know that Zach Bond, he needs to look down and be like, that other guy is still there. I got to make sure this is actually a clear lane. But that's kind of Jordan Love. Like, he just rips it sometimes. Rips it with reckless abandon. He really does.
Even some of his completions during the game were a little bit reckless. They just were plays were made by wide receivers.
That first pass he threw in the game when C.J. Gardner-Johnson forgot his hands on the sidelines.
Yes.
And just, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. From the very beginning, like Matt said, you could tell from the beginning they were just wobbled and they didn't have it.
Yeah.
It was after Elton Jenkins got hurt, and then after that throw, I was just like, okay, can we just sim to end? I very much do not like this game right now.
Was it the play before? I'm trying to think which interception. There was a play before the interception where he almost threw an interception. By Bond. I think it was the play before Bond made the interception.
That would make sense.
He kind of lofted it. He was trying to he just kind of lofted it into an empty spot, and Bond came swooping in.
Yes, and it bounced off the ground. Yes. Yeah, that was.
And then I think literally the next play, Bond's like, I'll get it this time.
Yeah, because he was trying to throw it away to the check down.
And Bond just saw that was happening.
Yeah.
And jumped in and blew that
the
up.
The only silver lining.
Bond, must have watched an ungodly amount of Jordan Love tape because Bond is like, I got him.
Yeah.
I will just hold him. I got him.
I think the Eagles just had him. The whole Eagles defense had him.
Here's the thing. And I'm not, no shot at Jeff Hafley, but Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio runs a defense that is elite and is disciplined, and that every player knows exactly where they're going to be. And the other thing, Dan Orlovsky pointed this out, they were flocking to the football. There was never a time. Like, think of it like this. When Carrington Valentine's getting manhandled down the field, and I'm not saying anyone was
Where's
close.
his help?
Yes. The Eagles, good defenses and really well-coached defenses. And Hafley, I'm giving him the same benefit you give like Jordan Love of like, Hafley, I assume his defense only gets better. The best defenses, you see the jerseys all around every tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe that's the next step for the Green Bay Packers. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Spins up with the right hand. It's good. Count it and a foul.
The hoop and the harm.
Goes in. Nice. Puts it in with 2 seconds to go. What a play. Dribbling, crossing over, fade away. Yes, that was nasty.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania on 100.5 ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports and Update brought to you by Celebrations Entertainment. Complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more. Go to celebrationsentertainment.com and get yourself started today. Well, there's no more celebrations for the Green Bay Packers as their playoff run and their season is over after just one game, falling 22-10 to the Philadelphia Eagles out at Lincoln Financial Field yesterday. Quarterback Jordan Love throwing 0 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, and the Packers only putting up 3 points through the first 3 quarters of the game. It was a miserable performance for the Packers and ends a somewhat uninspiring 11-6 season, regular season for the Green Bay Packers. Tucker Kraft spoke with the media at his locker today as players cleaned out the locker room. Here's what he had to say.
I wouldn't necessarily say that the season was a failure. We learned a lot about some of the individuals on our team and how these players can impact the future of this building.
Plenty to talk about in the future and about the Packers' playoff loss on the second hour of Jim, Matt, and Molly starting right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on
right.
Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
When you come into somebody else's house against a really good football team, you can't start the way we did.
That gets decked up. And for the third, I think the ball came out there. Who's going to come out of it? Eagles say they have it. Eagles recover.
You know, it was obviously too much to overcome.
Here's Love, though, last gasp attempt. Going deep down the field in the double coverage. It's intercepted. Picked off by Quinyon Mitchell, the third pick of the day for Philly.
It's the end of the season. You lose playoff game. We've been here before. It sucks. It's not fun being in that locker room after a game, and it sucks.
The Green Bay Packers simply couldn't beat the elite talent in the NFC. They were good. They were not good enough.
I get I want to vomit every time I hear number one receiver.
Feels like they're going to get punched in the jugular in week 1 in Brazil.
Right in the throat.
Can I say that on there? Yeah, right in the throat.
Do you know where the jugular is located?
Yes.
Okay.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. No Molly Brown. She is out with babies. We are presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue. You know what to do, Matt Hamilton.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
Primetime Wollersheim giving me the power in the Everlight Solar Studio. And you can get into the show with our first Siding Unlimited poll question. We asked you which one of our narratives was worse during this season. Right now, having multiple wide receiver number ones, 46%. And then at Jordan Love MVP candidate at 40.5%. I wanted to ask you this question, Matt Hamilton, and to the audience. And you can chime in 844-770-3776 on the Carbless Talk and Text line. Less is more. And you can also chime in on this, our signing limited poll question. I want to ask it like this. Do you feel better about the Packers after last season or this season? One more games this year, right? And I want to just look at this year while you ponder that, Matt
That's
Hamilton.
an interesting one. Yeah, let me think about it.
So, 11 wins, and this is not specifically about this year versus last year, but 11 wins is essentially what used to be 10 wins. Remember, we had this conversation. I can't believe an 11-win team is a wild card team. That's crazy, which is crazy under our old kind of mindset. 10-win team wild card, not insane. That happened plenty of times. So, if we just kind of looked under our more traditional, we watched a lot of football. This is more traditionally a 10-win team under our old understanding of football. And then you look at, and I'm not saying they didn't deserve to win these games, but I'm wondering, like everyone looks like, oh, they were close against Minnesota, and they were close against these teams. They also, against the Lions, they also were a fingertip away from losing to the Bears, barely beat the Jaguars, held on for dear life against the Texans.
Well, the Jaguar ones, I'm not. Wasn't that the one that Malik Willis came in for the second half?
It was, yes.
Right, but I'm saying as a whole for the team, and even the Rams game was close, this team was razor thin from not missing the playoffs. But I'm saying that we might have just overestimated the whole thing because we got caught up in looking how close they lost to the good teams.
Well,
but there were some bad teams that they let hang around, or there were some games that could have gone the other way, and this team could have been staring at 9 wins again. And that's what I'm kind of getting at. And I'm not saying this team isn't better than they were last year because I think they are. I think their passing game, and that has all regressed. But their defense and rushing game improved.
Mhm.
And special teams, whatever. Who cares? Like a wash. So
No, it improved. Their special teams was awful last year.
It was apparently ranked 32nd in the league per PFF this season. Special teams were for the Packers.
We had to have been the same last year. I'm thinking
so that's
when I
why
think
it's
special
very
teams too,
likely.
I'm also including field goals.
Yes. I think it was even. I think starting out the season so badly with Braden Arvison, like, drags that down.
Right.
If you did second half of the season, it's probably a lot better. I'll give you that.
But regardless, like what we care about, the defense got better. I would imagine, I feel like the pass rush got worse, but overall the defense looked better. The offense and the passing game looked worse, and the running game looked better. So 844-770-3776, our second Siding Unlimited poll question. Do you feel better about the Packers after this season or last season? Because Jordan Love was asked the question about where does he feel that the arrow is pointing. And, you know, Jordan Love did kind of indicate that you could make a case it's pointing down. Now, I like his answer because it was more of, hey, if we're not going to the Super Bowl, then I guess you consider it pointing down, and we didn't go as far as we went last year. Because, and we're going to hear from Jordan Love in a second, they finished third in the division this year, exact same playoff ranking. Yes, they won 11 games to 9, but they went not as far in the playoffs. Let's hear from Jordan Love.
Where do you think you guys are at? You know, last year you finished out, everything was pointing up. This year it's pointing the other way. Where do you feel like you're at?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's tough to say right now after a loss. I don't know if I'd say it's pointing down. You know what I mean? But there's going to be stuff we can look at and clean up and get better at and, improve on for next year.
So that is Jordan Love after the game, and we did have someone chime in already. TJ from the road said that I'm more pessimistic about the Packers moving into the next year than I was last year.
Yeah. I mean, that's the difference when you finish on a bit of a heater as opposed to finishing on a skid or a downhill slide. Right? The Packers, realistically, like, I guess I could count the Saints game, but, like, the last 5 games they played were Lions, Saints, Vikings, Bears, Eagles, right? Mm-hmm. The Saints, of course, like, I shouldn't say of course we were supposed to win because I feel like of course we should have beat the Bears, but, like,
the Saints had Spencer Rattler playing.
We were sliding for 5 games, where last year we had a pretty good finish. Like, I think there was the Giants game there inside that last 5. I guess
Buccaneers game too.
Actually, the Giants wouldn't have fallen in that because we got an extra game in the playoffs. Giants were 4th from the end. It just looked like the Packers were starting to figure it out on offense last year, where this year it is like they were forgetting what to do on offense.
I got a little bit of breaking news here by Metro Kia breaking news.
I was going to say, Matt Hamilton, do you feel like the offense was so good that maybe their OC should get a head coaching job?
Tom Pelissaro chiming in again. Breaking news brought to you by our good friends at Metro Kia and Metro Ford of Madison, the Metro family of dealership. Those are Madison's trusted Kia and Ford dealers. In the Madison area, Tom Pelissaro, the Bears have requested an interview with Packers offensive coordinator Adam Stenavich for their head coaching job per source. It's the first interview for Stenavich, a former NFL offensive lineman who has been an asset to Matt LaFleur. I would hate that because I don't think Stenavich is worth much of anything. I think he's...
What exactly do you do here?
Exactly. He is Nathaniel Hackett. And what in God's name has assistants from LaFleur proven at all to think that Stenavich is the guy? Hackett and then Getsy, they stink. They are disgusting. They are horrendous. They are some of the worst play callers and offensive coordinators and offensive minds I've seen in the history of football.
Isn't a former Packers assistant Luke Butkus with the Bears now? Or there was somebody who became the offensive line coach for the Bears, right?
No.
Okay. I was trying to think. Maybe I'm just getting confused.
Morgan is the Packers have a Butkus as their offensive line coach?
That's what it was. That was the trade. That Getsy went to Chicago. We got the Butkus.
I think Chris Morgan is the Bears offensive line coach.
Yep. Sorry.
Yeah. No relation to Jordan.
Took me a minute, but they had this exact same amount of sacks both years, 45.
Okay. Not great.
So, yeah.
Take that for data.
So you feel better, worse? Dancing Danny chimes in. Do you think Joe Barry would have been more successful with Xavier McKinney rather than Darnell Savage? Asking for a friend. I think he's putting in earlier. Look.
No.
I'll tell you what. It definitely helped Jeff Hafley, but that's just smart by Goody. You want to make a new defensive coordinator look a little better?
Add some players.
Yeah, add him a really good player to the defense.
Next year is going to be the big telling year for Hafley because he now knows what he needs on as far as like players are concerned, like what kind of players he needs to improve this defense. I would think at least that you would expect a good coach to know to see a season with a group of guys and know where the holes are. And yeah, next year is going to be very telling to see if this defense takes a step forward or not, and whether Hafley is worth his weight in gold or if he's, not what we thought he was.
844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talking text line. List is more. Our Siding Unlimited poll question. Do you feel better about the Packers after last season or this season? Rory in Mount Horeb says, moving up, second half of good football. Defense improved. Still has holes to fix with veteran leadership, limit young mistakes. JJ and Poinette said, I felt better last year, but my mind has to win out. I still believe the best football for this team is in front of us, and we already saw
I believe that
Davis.
too, but I definitely think I felt better after last season. Like, LaFleur seemed like the coach we all expected or like thought he was last year. Like, he took a first-time starter in Jordan Love and was able to get to the divisional round of the playoffs. And it looked good. Like, players looked open. This year, it didn't look as clean at all. Like, I feel like LaFleur took a step back this year, and it makes me nervous. I was definitely had higher hopes after last season than I do.
I do want to get to LaFleur. I do think, I believe Tauscher said this, and I can relate.
I think he's my biggest disappointment now.
He talked about this with his Tahoe, and I'll talk about it with my Silverado from Cinnamon Chevy in Mount Horeb, that you have those heated seats and you got 3 different levels to heat. He said at least it's on for LaFleur.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hot, but it's kind of that little,
warm. It's there.
Tepid.
Yeah.
Room temperature. Like if you were cold is good, room temp is where it's at for LaFleur. I wonder if, I'm not giving the Bears credit for chess or checkers, but I wonder if their request to talk to Stenavich could be a little bit of gamesmanship, because best case scenario, he says yes, you talk to him, you get some insight into how the team operates. He's not going to give away trade secrets, but he can at least get insights into, LaFleur. Just in general, Packers are running a good organization, without a doubt, a better organization than the Bears. And in the worst case for the Packers, if LaFleur says no, well, then you got a little maybe.
LaFleur says no?
LaFleur can say no to Well, the Packers can say no to Stenavich doing the interview.
You can deny interview requests for certain assistant coaches.
And then that all of a sudden creates a little conflict there.
That's what the Cowboys did with Mike McCarthy initially before deciding not to retain him today for whatever reason. Because it made sense to deny him interview requests before you just choose not to bring him back. Because Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Adam
how's
Stenavich.
Jerry Jones feel in the morning?
Adam Stenavich and Mike McCarthy in Chicago running the offense for the Bears. What are we thinking?
I mean,
Barry defense.
It
Yes.
wouldn't change anything for Stenavich. He'd be in the back seat of the car, of the offensive vehicle.
That's a good point.
Right? He's just along with LaFleur for the ride.
I'd love to take a ride. Who would you rather be on a long road trip with? Matt LaFleur or Mike McCarthy?
I think Matt LaFleur
McCarthy.
would have a much better music
choices?
Yeah, I think if we're taking a road trip, I'm going with LaFleur.
LaFleur, I feel like, is only listening to pop music.
I don't feel like LaFleur listens to any music.
Yeah. McCarthy's just firing up some classic rock.
Yeah, exactly. I think McCarthy would be a little more enjoyable.
He's a Pittsburgh guy. He's a Midwest guy. He's firing up some AC/DC.
Renegade.
Yeah, like
Kickstart my heart.
yeah. You are getting that. LaFleur.
I think I'm going with LaFleur. Because I
you
want
like
to
him more.
grill him right now.
Okay,
What
well,
the heck
I'm
were
talking
you
about.
thinking?
I'm talking about music specifically.
I bet LaFleur's got a decent playlist.
No, I think you're projecting. I think LaFleur is a very basic coach playlist.
Felt like Green Bay to me.
That guy's got a hot playlist.
Well, yeah, jock jams.
I think actually Ryan might hit it on the head of like doesn't listen. Like if he might, I just listen to books on tape.
Yeah, I'm a
big
podcast guy.
Big podcast. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I get down with podcasts.
You just won't want to ride with McCarthy.
Yeah, I don't, because okay, if the windows were down,
Aaron
because
Rodgers-
McCarthy seems a lot stinkier, and I don't know if I want to sit in the car with him the whole time. That beard looks like it smells like a chili dog.
The amount of
Barbecue.
positive, because I guarantee that McCarthy holds a good spot in his heart for Rodgers. The amount of positive Rodgers and cool stories from Rodgers that you could get from McCarthy would be elite. Because LaFleur only knows Alpha Rodgers and like the
ayahuasca Rodgers.
Yeah, because it was like Rodgers holding him at
Ayahuasca.
arm's length initially, and then kind of hating just the whole organization. Like it's
You're right. If I wanted to get some good Rodgers stories, I'd definitely
I
go
guarantee
with
that McCarthy is nostalgic about Rodgers.
Yeah. Plus, he's seen more stuff, right? He's been around longer.
He has, and he would fire up the old.
And he won a Super Bowl. You know what? Maybe it is McCarthy.
I know you don't like him, but I guarantee his music selection and some of the other stuff would align more with you.
Oh man, he seems like the kind
And
of guy that
I'm
would
sorry.
like hit the window lock and fart in the car.
No, in a funny way.
Yeah, I mean it's always funny.
Yeah, but like
who does that to not be funny?
LaFleur is probably pouring out a nice cab, like a nice cab or Merlot, and you guys can sit like
in the car.
No, I'm saying like if you guys like when you guys go, you end up somewhere.
Oh yeah,
McCarthy's got a Coors Light.
Yeah.
And yes, he is probably hotboxing the car while you're listening to AC/DC.
With the heat seater on.
Here's the thing: with McCarthy, you are eating glizzies, drinking Coors Light, hotboxing the car with the exhaust from the hot dogs, and you are having one hell of a time just hanging out in the
With
parking lot.
LaFleur, it's probably we're stopping somewhere for sushi.
Yep.
Probably a nice red wine.
Yep.
And we're listening to podcasts
Barbra Streisand or something.
on Roman, the Romans. Podcasts on the Romans.
There you go.
Because LaFleur thinks about the Romans at least once a day.
You should think about the Packers more. You can think about your health at Carbon World Health. You can ask them about semaglutide. You can also ask them about testosterone replacement. Both those things can change your life. They do it differently, but go talk to Dr. Ness Rodriguez and see how working out along with one of those options or both those options can change your life. Carbon World Health. Sign up for the 6-week experience at carbonworldhealth.com. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
One word captures why so many businesses choose to do business with James Imaging Systems. Local. Local business technology. Local support. Local accountability. Listen to James' client Daniel Bertelson, RE/MAX Preferred CEO.
James Imaging is one of the vendors that we use to move all of our documents and set up networks and utilize their equipment for scanning and storage purposes.
Local support works for James' client Josh Gabel, Service Manager with Kirsch Appliance.
Yeah, things happen happen, they can come out and fix it and leave us to what we're needing to do.
Jennifer Wilger, purchasing manager with Baker Manufacturing, likes the local accountability from the James Imaging Systems people.
They're an absolutely wonderful partner for us. They go above and beyond.
Local business technology, local support, local accountability. Get it all from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Ordering pizza for game day can be a tough call to make. Do you get a pizza or are you craving some wings? At Pizza Hut, there's only one right answer. Get both. Introducing Pizza Hut's original stuffed crust and wings bundle. Get a large one-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings with 2 sauces for only $19.99. An unbeatable value that can feed the whole crew. Perfect for game days, family nights, or any gathering. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
844-770-3776. I would ask that we can be at least a little concise.
Well, that's rich. Jason Wilde telling people to be concise. All right.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Grassland Dairy, Home and Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance. Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
This is how my mind works.
Ask the question and we'll save it.
Matt LaFleur, not on the hot seat, but his seat is definitely, he's got the heat seaters on. He's hit the, you got the little button on your Chevy, on my Chevy Tahoe, the little heat seaters. You got 3 buttons where it gets real hot with 3. He's going to be going into next season. Marks. He's going to have, I think he's going to be 1 or 2 clicks up. Like his seat's not, it is not smoking hot.
His seat is not Sydney Sweeney. Is that what would you go with smoking? What would your smoking hot reference be? Yeah.
That's quite the reference.
What's wrong with that reference?
I mean, it's not inaccurate.
Okay.
It's just, I mean,
he said smoking hot. The
my
first
grill,
thing
my smoker grill.
Yeah.
As the glizzy grill that Mike McCarthy's got in the back of the Chevy Tahoe as you're on your road trip.
So what do you think his beard smells like? 844-770-3776.
Mustard.
That's the Carpless Talk and text line.
Mustard.
List is more.
Mustard?
Yeah, mustard.
Take out the muss. Just a turd.
What about like a chili dog?
Yeah, that was my initial thought.
What do they eat in
He
Dallas?
seems like the kind of guy who, I mean,
So his
barbecue.
beard, actually, honestly, his beard probably smells like barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to get down
barbecue
to it, some
Mesquite.
good barbecue sauce. It's Texas barbecue sauce, north and south sort of barbecue sauce there. So, yeah. We also, Matt Hamilton, Jim Rutledge with you. We're presented by Coors Light. Molly Brown out with babies. Primetime, Wollersheim behind the glass. We asked, do you feel better about the Packers at the end of this season or the end of last season. Right now, 83% of you say last season.
Yeah.
Let's get to Don't Quote Me.
We're not saying it's gonna happen.
Let it ride!
But if it does, then we want credit.
Say that again, because that is an amazing take.
I told you all.
If not, well...
Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said...
Yeah, guys, as good as Mike McCarthy's beard smells is about as bad as our Don't Quote Me's were this past weekend. I think Jim said that Matt, you, John Audius, and I, who was with us on Friday when you were out curling, I think he said we and other Packers fans were taking a lot of hopium with our predictions.
You guys got into my stash of hopium. You're microdosing my hopium.
I actually thought mine was
Yours was
borderline bold.
Borderline bold.
Yeah, because I thought the Packers would have learned from the entire season of slow starts and would have had something dialed in. Yeah.
So you know what we should do? We should score.
We should actually try and run a good scheme instead of the same. I feel like Matt LaFleur wrote up his first 15-play playbook and just this is it all season. I'm not touching this.
Matt,
don't fix goals.
Matt, spin zone. I bet you who was handling those opening drive scripts? Bet you it was Adam Stanovich. That's what it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Show those opening
Have
scripts
fun on the
down
Bears.
there. Yeah, show those to the Hallises down there. Look at these.
Caleb, I think we're going to do a quarterback draw 4 times first.
Is it?
I'm the best on paper, guys.
I don't know.
Hire me.
I don't know how to say this. What I am. I can't imagine offensive linemen as good head coaches.
Forrest Gregg's the only one that comes to mind, which was very bad for the Packers.
That was a defensive guy. Offensive lineman.
Did Russ Grimm ever coach as a head coach?
Who is that?
Russ Grimm. All right.
Didn't Joe Thomas take over? Wasn't he the interim for
He
the
coaches
Colts?
a team in Germany. No, that's Jeff Saturday.
Oh, he's still offensive lineman.
Yeah, but he wasn't very good.
Oh, debatable.
Oh, it's the
No,
Colts.
Russ Grimm was he was the O-line coach for the Commanders, and then the Steelers, and then the Cardinals and the Titans, all for very good teams, and he played in the NFL 3-time Super Bowl champion, but never was a head coach.
All right, regardless, Matt Hamilton's Don't Quote Me prediction was the Packers
Mike McCarthy,
would
an
score.
offensive lineman?
Could be, back in his day. Matt Hamilton's prediction was that the Packers would score a touchdown on their opening drive. Instead, they fumbled technically on their opening drive, I guess. I don't know if that counts as a drive. But either way, their second drive in that game, then they went 3 and out and gained 2 yards and punted. So not very close either way.
Yeah, I was curious, though. I did see the fumble through the glass while I was curling. I was wondering if the next time the Packers actually got the ball, Jordan Love had a chance at the ball, if they'd have scored a touchdown, I think I would have fought that I was right.
I think I would have given it to you.
Yeah, you'd have given it
just
on that
to
one?
feel good about today. Yeah, I would have.
Well, we didn't get that opportunity, so
Well,
on to
there's
the next one.
Another person who was a little more bold with their prediction. Somebody predicting that Jordan Love would throw 3 first-half touchdowns and 0 interceptions, and the Packers would win by 10
Literally,
plus points.
if you reverse everything he said, he was dead on.
Honestly, yes. If you throw first-half touchdowns to interceptions and the Packers losing by 10 plus points, though I guess all the interceptions were in the first half, but close enough.
Well,
John Audius
if you
would have
just
been
look
nails.
at it, he had 3 interceptions. They lost by 10, 0 touchdowns. Yeah, if you'd have just reversed it and taken out the half, he would have been. But he was probably more wrong than me. At least the Packers got 2 yards on an opening drive.
You know what it is? John Audius is a Vikings fan. He was trying to
Put
jinx
that
us.
hex on him.
Yes, exactly. He did it on purpose.
Never again. I will never miss this show again for curling.
Thank you. Never on a Friday. Not when
In
we're
the
doing
event
our
that
playoff
Audius
game.
might be my understudy.
Having a Vikings fan and a Bears fan leading
Audius is my Malik Willis.
Having a Packers and a Vikings fan leading us into a Packers playoff game on a Friday on Jim, Matt, and Molly, tough personally.
Dude, I bet it was.
Good show. The Packers producer.
I mean,
right here.
I just commented on that sad
Yeah.
on X. So this is sad.
It's accurate. All right, then somebody else. Probably the most accurate prediction of this crop, saying that Jalen Hurts would account for over 300 total yards and 3 touchdowns, plus the Eagles would cover. Final line came in around 5.5 that they were favored by. Jalen Hurts finishing with 131 passing yards, 36 rushing yards, so 167 total yards, but 2 passing touchdowns.
And they covered.
They covered.
Yeah.
So Jim was pretty close. I'd say you're half close.
You were close.
I was close.
Yeah, you were close.
10 at the half.
Packers holding the Eagles under 10 at the half.
Eagles had 10 points though.
Yeah.
It's tough.
That's cool. That's about as close
You
as
hit it at least.
Jim. He was 150 yards off.
When I was making the prediction, I was thinking about making the prediction that the Packers would hold them to 10 or fewer points, but I didn't think it was bold enough. I
For
want
the
to go
game?
under. No, for the first half.
Oh.
Or for the game. Oh my God, no.
That would have been plenty bold.
No, my final prediction was that they would score 31 points. The Eagles would. I thought it would open up in the second half. And then I also had the Packers outrushing the Eagles in this game. Eagles finished 169 total rushing yards. Packers 107. Okay, nice, I guess.
On that
69. I like that number.
On that note, JJ and Fournette, unintentionally hilarious right now. I'm not even particularly into Sydney Sweeney, but for some reason she's dominating all my ads on Facebook and social media. Well, I think the internet disagrees with you, JJ.
Yeah.
I think you are very into it. Your algorithm says you like Sydney Sweeney.
He doesn't like Sydney Sweeney. He just loves Euphoria. He's a big fan
Old
of
Spice.
Yeah, he's a big fan of Old Spice. What other movies has she been in recently?
I don't understand what all this content's doing on my computer.
Yeah.
All I did was Google Sydney Sweeney to make sure that I didn't find her attractive, and then I just got ads everywhere.
Yeah.
JJ
Dang.
just confirms a lot. Yep. No, I still don't like her. Also, big miss by me. Andy Reid, offensive lineman.
Was he a tight end?
In college or the NFL?
It says here the poster boy of offensive line coach turned head coach is Andy Reid.
I thought he was a tight end.
He was an O-line coach, you said.
Yes, I'm sorry. You're right. He's not an offensive lineman. You're right.
Okay.
So true, still not that guy.
Still being an O-line, it's similar.
Mike Munchak, I believe, was maybe an offensive lineman. Not
Who did he coach for?
The Titans. The
Okay.
sweet 2011 through 2013 Titans.
What a run.
Yeah.
Very memorable, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Can we get that guy from the Hard Knocks?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, what's his name?
His belly shook every time.
Oh.
Say, Hut!
The ones that pop up on the Google AI are Jim Ringo. Never heard of him. He was...
Wasn't he a Packer?
Yeah, well, he was a Packer, but he coached.
Never heard of him.
Just like Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even looking for head coaches, and they're just doing coaches right now. So,
all right.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. You can't be a head coach if you're an O-lineman.
No, I just don't. Sorry, Mark.
Know your lane.
Yeah, stay in your lane.
That's why the Bears are going to take him. It's like no one's ever done it before, but we're going to do it this time.
Can I say one name that is interesting to me?
Yes.
Marcus Freeman.
Oh, the Notre Dame head coach?
Isn't Mercedes Lewis older than him?
Probably.
I'm pretty sure.
Less attractive.
Do you think
though.
he's...
Oh, well, everyone's less attractive. Sydney Sweeney's less attractive.
Fair point.
I feel...
Have you seen Marcus Freeman?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand. I mean, if a guy
his
without a
suit
great
that he
hairline,
walked
his
into
hairline.
the game with was legit.
Yeah.
You know what? I could see if they win over Ohio State, right? Yeah, they beat Texas. If they beat Ohio State and he wins the championship, I could see him harbor it and getting the heck out of there.
I want to ask this on Stones on the other side. Are there some coaching jobs in college that are better than some NFL jobs? We can ask that on the other side during
Yes.
Throwing Stones. Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Outside in. That's what we call our Siding Unlimited showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. All the stuff defending the outside of your home against Wisconsin's weather displayed inside. Many siding options and colors, plus full display of Pella windows and patio doors, and roofing too. Wisconsin's own Siding Unlimited, 4-time National Pella Platinum Premier Contractor of the Year, and proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, awaits you inside our showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. SidingUnlimited.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every U. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Jacob Stern from St. Ambrose Academy in Madison. Welcome.
Thank you, Dennis.
You're a multiple sport athlete. Let me see here. Football, you did cross country for a year, basketball, and state track and field. What's your best sport?
I'm the best at track technically, but my favorite is basketball.
What do you like about basketball?
I think the main thing that I love about the game is that the way to win is by playing selflessly. At least from my position as point guard, it promotes letting other people do what they're best at, promotes hustle, hard work, things like that. It helps you to be a better person while also being really fun to play.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at greatdanepub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Bringing us down all of a sudden here on a Monday afternoon primetime Orange time.
Oh, what reason is there to be down, Jim?
Oh, you guys upset?
We're looking to the future. I'm over the game.
Matt's in draft mode.
I'm in draft mode right now. Like I'm already scouting out college teams, trying to figure out what the holes are on this Packers offense and defense, what position player is going to be best. I'm going to call Goody and be like, hey, also, I'm an owner, so you should hear me out here, and give him some suggestions.
He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. We are live from the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. We did ask, do you feel better about the Packers at the end of this season or last season? Which one made you feel better? Right now, 85% of you say last season.
Yeah, I mean, what if the season ended at the Bear game, and it ended with, was it the Lions last year? Or was it also the Bears?
When you say the Lions.
Last game was Bears last year,
last
too.
regular season, Bears?
Yeah.
Which one do you feel better about? If you don't count what they did in the playoffs both years, which would make you more excited, like, for the next season?
If obviously 2 years ago.
What do you mean?
Really?
2 years ago, they were inconsistent.
I'm sorry, last year. Not 2 years ago. Not this Bears game, the one before.
Yeah, so the last game, like, if you were to just go off the regular season, ignore the playoffs,
yeah.
Same question. Are you more excited for which season gave you, like, more hope going into the next one?
Which regular season gave you more hope, this season or last season? I'd say last season.
I would say this season.
They ended on a giant thud.
They did, but, like, they
didn't
more
beat any good teams.
across
Last year,
the board.
they beat the Chiefs at home. Like, they beat some good teams. Packers didn't beat any. They beat Texans.
I mean, at the time, the Cardinals were 4-1 when we played the Cardinals. 4-0.
I think they had a winning record and they were atop the NFC West.
Okay, but then the Rams didn't have their best. We're not gonna play that. You're just gonna take them when you play them. Rams were missing Cooper Kupp and
Nakua.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear that, but like, I did think the Packers found a little consistency this year.
1-5 in the NFC North ain't it?
Yeah, but they're more consistent in the fact that there weren't the Giants game. There wasn't the Buccaneers game.
True, but there was no peak.
True, but at the
specifically Jordan Love, there was no amazing game.
There was no amazing game, but at the same time, you want to have a floor and you want to have a reliable base to work from. While there might not be the peaks and the valleys, it's better to feel like
still
you have
want
sturdy.
peaks, though.
Yeah, but you want to have sturdy ground because if you're only living off peaks every game to game, it feels like you have to live. Then that's not a sustainable model. What they had this year felt more sustainable. Even if it was flawed and it wasn't like
so you feel
super
better
good.
after this season?
And you said at the end of last
we're just
regular
talking
season.
regular
But now I
season.
want to actually, do the whole feelings of like, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
I don't feel better. I kind of feel, in some ways, I kind of feel like they didn't go anywhere. I kind of feel like it's neutral.
And part of me also is like,
Which makes you feel worse. You don't want neutral season.
If they
Not
just
necessarily.
missed the playoffs last year with their record and didn't have that, we wouldn't have had the expectations we had for them going into this one.
Last year they were second place
Second place.
in the division,
Yes.
third place in the division, 7 seed, didn't make the
Just
play.
because
or
the rest of the division got better doesn't mean I should feel worse.
lost in the first round too.
true.
You should feel worse if everyone else is getting better and you didn't. Why is Minnesota and Detroit?
because
are they
it doesn't
regressing?
mean the Packers can't continue to get better.
Doesn't mean those teams have
I'm
a
not
head start
saying
on
that.
you.
I'm not
Detroit
saying,
has more money
hey,
than
Jim,
you to spend.
Jim, can I talk how I feel?
Well, can I finish
Yeah.
my conversation,
Yeah.
which is saying you should feel worse because you have two teams now who are in front of you.
Says the guy who's like, I just hope Caleb goes out
No,
and has fun
I
and doesn't
feel
get
worse.
hurt.
I feel worse about the Bears at the end of this season as opposed to the end of last season. I absolutely feel worse about the Bears.
Because you have a worse record, and the team was worse.
But I have a quarterback to believe in, but I still feel worse because my team disappointed my expectations.
Can I explain
and
why
the
I feel
Packers
better?
failed at their expectations.
Right,
And
but I think
I'm
their
still-
expectations were because of the playoffs
And
last
also,
year.
here's the other part of it that applies to both sets of it. Minnesota and Detroit look like teams that are going to be around for a long time, and that makes my chances as a favorite. We share the same division, tougher. So that is a bit, I would say, depressing in your overall excitement.
But can I express why I am
I'm done
excited?
now,
Because
yes.
it is my feelings?
I
You
just,
guys
I
asked
just
me?
wanted to finish my
Yeah, you
feelings.
wanted to tell me how I felt. Thank you.
I think I
appreciate
should
that.
feel.
Oh.
Look, you can feel however you want. I have a guess you're going to feel a
What's
certain
the
way.
difference?
Because Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs weren't on the team last year at the end of the season. And this team is significantly better because of those two. And because Adrian Cooper wasn't there. And because Jeff Hafley's defense didn't look as good as it did. There's definitely reasons to feel good coming out of this year. Now, my only hope is that Jordan Love gets his head out of his bleep and that they figure it out going forward because they have to in order for that to happen. That's the difference. End of last regular season, Jordan Love looked all world. At the end of this regular season, he looked fringe starter.
Mid.
Yes. So it's like...
That's the most important thing.
That is the most important, but I do have reason to believe that could change. Whereas the rest of the team around it, like there's a lot more of a lift to make sure all of those other things change compared to Jordan Love recorrecting.
But
and
you can't
being,
also just assume Jacobs is going to have the exact same type of season
I'm not
he had.
saying, but I
So,
think
like,
that they're going to
could
go
regress.
continue. Okay, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just pointing
but
out.
I'm also pointing out that they can continue to go add and supply the things that they need to fix.
Yes, but so can, and this is the problem the Packer fans overlooked last year. The other teams can too.
And then they also might take a step back. We can't control what goes on outside of our team and our organization.
Right.
Because we
Like
are
the
training gold
Vikings
owners.
could get rid of Darnold and start JJ next year, and then I'm going to feel better about that as far as a Packer fan.
Or maybe some of the Vikings defenders. A lot of guys on that defense are older, aging players. Maybe they start to age out, and maybe they get injured. And
Yeah,
maybe
Hitman Harry's like 33.
Christian Watson's not going to play for most of the year next year. Jair Alexander is probably
Just
cut.
Honestly,
I'm praying they go sign
I'm not
guys.
super. I'm not going to beat myself up because Christian Watson's not going to play next year.
He's your only deep threat.
I'm over him.
You got to go pay a guy or
Yeah.
draft a guy early at that
Yeah.
position.
And those are two
I'm
things that
over
Goody has
Christian
not done
Watson.
at that position.
And he
I
needs to
don't
change
care about your missized hamstrings or any of that. Like, Bud, I'm sorry you're made of glass, but you made of glass.
That's the very, very sympathetic Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. If you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now is the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel and no payment financing until 2026. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
Looking for the most popular answer. What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. Yay! It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Are you frustrated because you can't seem to lose that unwanted weight or keep it off long term? It may not be your fault. Your metabolism might be sabotaging your results. We found that clients on average had a metabolic age 27 years older than their actual age. If that's you, how much harder would it be to lose or maintain your weight? At Madison Weight Loss, our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. To learn how our clients on average lowered their metabolic age by 17 years, go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Hi, it's Jesse Nelson. Struggling to find a weight loss program that really works for you? I was, until I found Madison Weight Loss. In 60 days, I was able to drop 40 pounds simply by changing my diet.
Now is the time to end the cycle of weight gain and frustration. You could lose 20 to 30 pounds in 60 days and be empowered with the proven tools to keep it off once and for all. You can do the program in person or virtually from anywhere you live. Schedule your free consultation now at MadisonWeightLoss.com. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed Wisconsin business technology company. 20-year James client Daniel Bertelson, CEO at RE/MAX Preferred.
Reliability and consistency are the key to any successful business, and for our networking and digital solutions, they've been that right along with us for all these years.
Local reliability and consistency has also had a positive impact for Baker Manufacturing. Purchasing Manager Jennifer Wilger.
It helps keep us efficient and productive, and we can keep our minds on what's really important, and that's taking care of our customers.
And Josh Gavel, Service Manager with Kirsch Appliance, also depends on the reliability and consistency of local service from James Imaging Systems.
Yeah, you get somebody that knows what they're doing, come in here and get it done in 5 minutes, and we're not having to take our time to do it.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. Primetime will shine behind the glass. Watch us on the ESPN Madison YouTube page, and we are presented by Coors Light.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
We need to throw some stones.
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
That was cooler than being cool. Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
All right, Jim Rutledge, you told me that I've been hearing some rumors that we might be losing TikTok here pretty soon, but it sounds like it followed you into a hot tub recently?
I'm not sure if it was you two. So I was at a hotel in the Madison area. My parents stayed in town, and on Sunday morning, we went and visited them so the girls could get an opportunity to go swimming in the pool. And when I arrived, I would say less than 10 yards away from their sliding glass door into the pool. It kind of had like a pool area, and it had places where to put tables up, things like that. There was the hot tub, and my parents had a table in between their door and the hot tub, and we're sitting at the table. And while we're doing this, there was a guy, and initially thought maybe he was doing it FaceTime because he was speaking Spanish, so I don't know what was being said. And he had two devices, though, which we quickly figured out. One device to like stream on, and another one playing music or something. And that was weird and kind of annoying because it's like, look, Mr. Cool Guy who like can't just do
influencer.
this, right? Like, because you can't do this in your room. Like, you can't just like take up a public space for like a good 20 minutes, 25 minutes. You want a little dance in the corner, fine, whatever. But like,
practice in your room and
Right.
then bring the real show out to the hot
exactly.
tub.
So he's in the hot tub. He's got a Miami Marlins ball cap on, obviously no shirt, and wearing sunglasses. We are indoors, by the way. So sunglasses not needed.
Pretty cool.
Right. And he is speaking in Spanish and dancing to music that I don't know. But he's doing this, and that's one thing. And then he starts, and you can watch me on the ESPN Madison YouTube page, shirtless. I am not shirtless, but he starts flexing in the camera
Nice.
and then doing like different
bodybuilder poses.
Yeah, bodybuilder poses. And then he turns around, shows off his back, and then he starts doing like twirls.
Can you show us your back?
No, I got that. How am I gonna do that? So.
It's too hairy.
Yeah. I mean, if you want me to take my shirt off, I'll show you my back.
You'd think he was. You'd definitely know he was a Bear fan.
I have Bear fans. And so, back not hairy though, by the way. But anyways,
Grows it out for the winter.
Yeah.
Anyways, this guy, he continues to dance, and then my sister-in-law texted and said, "Hey, he's now like sucking his toes on the
What?
video." What? And then making some weird gestures. And again, my kids are maybe 20 yards away from him in the pool. He's 10 yards away from us. No shame. And my stone is, can we have some shame? Some sort of like, this is inappropriate, also rude? At a bare minimum, it was rude. Because nobody was going in the hot tub because this guy's doing his thing in there. God knows what. And then he's in there for a half an hour. It's not like you're trying to knock off some quick stand shot or a little dance. He's just in there doing a TikTok live or FaceTime. I don't know. But it was one of the most incredibly rude and disgusting and off-putting things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's
Now, we got
that's
around
bad.
it by, I just made fun of the girls, and like Rosie was like, I don't want to, she's like, I want to get out of the pool. I'm like, well, if you get out of the pool, your sister still wants to play, so then you got to go in the hot tub. And then she starts laughing as she sees the guy in there. So we all laughed at him. If my kids wanted to go in the hot tub, I was either going to ask him to leave or ask someone, but they didn't want to.
Were you thinking about dipping your toe in?
Didn't want to get licked.
Lit liquors. All right. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. Primetime Laura Sean behind the glass. We'll be back at it tomorrow.
See ya.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite